having a conversation about women in theatre, their roots, and the routes that they have taken to get where they are, and how that migration has impacted the things they have done in theatre, and maybe a piece or two of advice for how people can better walk that journey after they have taken it and experienced it. Yes, so I'll begin by requesting you all to kindly introduce yourselves to our audience today. I'll begin with Nalongo here.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Eronie Bazongere, Nalongo. Nalongo was gotten 21 years ago. So at first I was Eronie Bazongere. As a Nalongo, a mother of 2 girls, I'm a performing artist, theatre, film, and a voice artist.
Thank you so much, Erin. Catherine.
Good evening, ladies. Good morning. So, my name is Catherine Bagaya. I am the child of the Most High God first. Then I am a writer, screenwriter. I'm an actor. I'm a producer. I'm a sister. I'm a friend. I'm a woman.
Hi, I am Ntuulo Eronie Matovu. I am married, have children and grandchildren. I've been in art, theatre since 1989. And I've been in film, I've written and directed. I love art.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It's an honor to be here. Thank you very much for the invite. And I take this like as a special day, and I hope to honor it. My name is Kaya Kagimu Mukasa, and I am a creative artist.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Muhirwe, Dorothy, and I am a creative artist. I work with Jewelry Arts Foundation. I am a mother of 1 son, and I am a wife. Thank you so much. Well, yes, I am a woman, and I have always been a woman, but identity is something very, very different, I think, because when I started doing arts, I was all over, and I thought I would do everything. But as I kept on growing in the arts and meeting different mentors, I got myself in a space where I started identifying myself as an artist, as a woman who is an artist. And I zeroed down to the things that I had passion in, and the things that I knew I would do better. So I decided to select a few. And that was after a certain project, which almost cost my integrity or my dignity. And that's when I actually decided to quit this, because I didn't see myself going to that direction. Because of the guidance I had gotten from the people that mentored me. So I asked myself, if I go into this direction, will that help me become the person I have already envisioned myself to be? So I started turning my identity from the other side to this side, this direction. And that has helped me to know who I am as a woman, who is an artist. Because being a woman artist in this country, I don't know about the other countries. It's something that is, for lack of a better word, it's something that seemed like water, like, you know, it's water. It's not solid. Yeah. So because I wanted to fit in the society, but also do what I want, I decided to take a certain direction. And that's where my identity is. I know, yes, I'm a playwright. If I am a playwright, then I have to work in the direction where I'm going to support other women. If I have female characters in my play, since I cannot act a naked scene, I'll not have a naked scene in my play. So that has shaped me in how I write my work, in how I do my work, in how I lead, because I'm a leader as well. So if I do not see myself in a certain direction, if I do not identify myself as something that I do not want to see myself in, then I think it's not good for other women as well. So I wouldn't want to see them or be identified in that direction. So I'll try to shape in the direction I want. I think that's now the root. That brings us to the roots. So being identified as Muhirwe, a playwright, a director, a producer, a community theatre practitioner, that's how I actually work within my space. And I hope it helps me. And I wouldn't be here, I'm very sure, if I was identified as something contrary to why we are here. Yes, thank you.
Theatre being largely defined by the multiple roles that they play prior to getting actively involved in the arts.
Good one. I'd say that would pretty much be rooted in your identity as, first and foremost, your identity as a human being, your identity as a woman, and your identity in the arts. So once you articulate who you are, what you stand for, it becomes easier. Let me just give a simple example. When we were in elementary school, primary school, and we are doing drama, and everybody's so sweet to you because you're a child, and everybody's supportive, and everybody comes and watches, you're going to watch, you're going to friends, and everybody's clapping and applauding. So at the end of P7, you're thinking, oh my goodness, I am sad. And then you go to secondary school. The ground is still okay. The ground didn't start. You know, the drama teacher is not as patient as your teacher in elementary school. So now voices are raising. And you've got homework. And you've got all these other activities that you'd like to be a part of. And now you start thinking, do I want to take this route? It's hard. Now you've got to grab lines. And you've got to be there for rehearsals. Everybody's grouchy. Now remember, now all of you are people in presence. Your hormones are raging. You don't even know what is happening. But everybody all of a sudden has this huge attitude. So difficult to do. So that the space becomes a difficult terrain, so to speak. And then after that, now you go to university and you're thinking, okay, I am at Makerere University. I am it. At that time it was the Department of Music, Dance and Drama. So you're there, day one. And then the other courses are calling you Muslim Dada. And you're thinking, okay, now your self-esteem goes down. You're thinking, oh my goodness, is this the way these people see me? And I remember I had a challenge with that until my father said, maybe you see that, are you like extremely stupid? I'm like, no. He said, okay, prove it. It will take time for you to prove it, because you've got to leave a trail. You know, a trail that people actually look at and say, okay, I did this, she did this, she did this. How she did it is this. And as it is said, you will be seen by the fruit of your hands. So after a while, it will be people who are going through your hands, people you've mentored, people, and that will be what will eventually identify you as you. Now, when it comes to the social responsibility, who you're looked at as a woman, I would not say that this only applies to the arts. It applies to all the other disciplines, because the way we've been socialized, like for many years, it's been a man's world. You're an accountant, you'll find men. You're a lawyer, you'll find men. You're a marketer, you'll find men. And of course, they will want to bully you because they do not want to outshine you. And from my experience, no offense against gentlemen, but women have like an innate ability to pay attention to detail that men may not necessarily have. So still, I say this respectfully, there will be a tendency of women, if they decide to pay attention to detail, to bring out a product that will be either equal to what a man would do, or even better. Chelsea still with me, but everybody still with me. Okay, so but because we are in the world where women more often than not think or react emotionally, and men act or reason objectively, they use that. They set you up a bit upset. And when you're upset, you'll be like totally out of sorts, and they'll say, well, it's because she's a woman. So then what happens is you have to learn to stand your ground. Learn to know what your strengths are. And of course that takes time. You have to build it. Know, okay, this is what my challenge is. This is the way people are looking at me. But to be able to stand out, I have to be able to do something. To be able to justify what I am doing. So it has to stand the test of time. Having said that, there will be responsibilities as a woman. As you're a woman, you will have to be a mother. You will have to be a wife. You will have to be a homemaker. You will have to be a sister. You will have to be a daughter. You will have to be a friend. And all those activities. On top of that, now you have to add the profession you choose. Because I'm sure nobody will get a big stick and hold it over your head to say, you have to be a creative artist. That is a calling. It has to be your choice. And if you make it, then you have to make it work. So you have to balance. Okay? Because people are very judgmental. Your husband will judge you. Your children will judge you. Your family will judge you. Your peers will judge you. Everybody will judge you. I remember when I went to Makerere, some people told my parents, you know, like, was Kaya so bad at her studies that all she could do was go and do drama at the university. I'm sure there are other courses for you should have talked to her to take something that is more serious. And then you'll get into situations where your husband's friends are telling him, that woman is acting with men. How many has she slept with? Or do you know how many she's sleeping with? You know, women in the arts are loose. But is that the truth? Maybe some are, maybe some are not. But then in other disciplines, you know, the same thing happens because you're all human beings. And to do that, it's a decision that you make. Okay? And so you have to balance, which is really, really a hard one. You have to balance being a wife, you have to balance being a sister, a mother, as creative artists, you've got to keep your head because men will bully you. Men will bully you. And unfortunately, women will disrespect you because you're a woman. Which is also a very interesting thing. They'll say, oh, okay, because it's a woman, what can she tell? A man speaks. It's also like one of the things that I always tell men who I work with, I'll tell them, the same money that I give you is the same money a man will give you. The only difference is I'll pay you the day I say I will pay you, and the man will make you work for 6 months. So it's a balancing act. When you choose to be an artist, it's that much more difficult. And to be able to make it work, you have to articulate your why. You've got to make sure that your route is clear. Where am I going? This is what I want. How am I going to get there? And with every route, there will be an obstacle. And when you meet the obstacles, are you going to back down? Or are you going to learn from that mistake? Learn from the test. Let it be a testimony. Keep moving. So that is what I would like to say about.
Thank you so much. You come from and the journey that you've moved. There's always friction in there between where you are, where you originally come from, and where you want to be. That tension that is always there as you grow in the career, as you make things happen. Would you say theatre has been a grounding element for you to deal with that tension?
Yes. Me? Yes. It is something that has, I think theatre is what has made me, like grooming me. I joined theatre when I was in my senior certification. I didn't have a lot of experience. I grew up, I studied in girls' schools. But then in Akawa is where I got the boys, but I was already in theatre. I met all kinds of people. That's where I would meet all kinds of people. There are things that you're used to, and the people I met were always opposite of what I stood for. But I was committed. Me, what takes me around with anything is my values and commitment. So there were so many challenges. My husband is an artist, and we were in the same group. He's a director. So you can imagine, challenges were so many. But because of my commitment to, I'll make this thing, I'll stay in acting. In fact, my stay in acting is not more for me looking at the goals that I set, because I didn't set goals to be an actor, but because I joined. I didn't want people to think that I failed. I joined something and I failed. So I proved that what I went into is something that is doable, and I do it, regardless of the challenges, which were so many. There are some days of crying, there are some days of, backing up just a little bit. Because this is the route that I took when I was a young man. I have 3 children, I bore all of them when I am in arts. So it had all those things that would pull you. I was working in Winner Classic, which was so busy. But I determined, and that's how I managed my challenges. As I grew up with these challenges, I think God was graceful, because there's some good things that you see in them. There's some praises that you hear around the corner. Our directors were not those people that praise, but you would know. For instance, when I had just gotten in, there are some plays that I got roles because of my discipline. There are some people who were good but proud, disciplined, hate, they're doing all those things. I overheard my director say, that I'll take that part, and now they will know that there's something. So because I had that, I wanted to satisfy my directors that yes, now let me do this part because I know why I'm doing this part. So my determination, my discipline, my holding my values, I'm sure is what helped me in the road to go with those challenges. But most of all, I had a supportive family. My family was very supportive, so I go home, I cry, I tell them what this and this, and then I strengthen myself. I'll go the next day, I'll go for the rehearsal. And when the play is successful, and when I hear I've done it well, that satisfies me to go to even another project. Because in our group, we used to do almost every weekend. So it was an easy one, but I was cast in many roles because I'm sure because of that. So when you are determined, then you will study to show yourself what you will know what to do. You won't sleep, you will do rehearsals, you get the lines, you will have discipline because now you are determined to get there. So yeah.
Thank you so much. To you, Catherine. The scope of migration, moving from one point as a girl, as a young person passionate about theatre, and now you are a grown woman fully practicing. Would you say that theatre is a safe space for a woman to grow in the craft?
That's a very interesting question, and you have used very interesting words. Is theatre a safe space? I joined theatre 2007. When I joined, the terrain had changed a bit. Why? The majority of the ladies that I found Madame Kaya. I met her, worked with her, just like her sister Auntie Jewa. So when you meet such ladies, the way they move, the way they handle themselves, the way they speak, the way they protect women, shows you that I'm not going to suffer so much, like the stories I had. Yeah? Yeah. While I was at university teaches you, the ground that you come from teach you that you are in a world. You're in the business of entertainment. What does it mean? Why are you here? How are you here? What do you want? What are you going to use to get what you want? Where does the unsafety come in? The unsafety comes in that you're working not only with women, you're working with men. What are the interests of the people you're working with? And what are your interests? So it brings me to, how are you going to get where you want? Some women have been confused by the trait of, I'm a woman, I have power, I can use what I have to get where I want. So many times they apply themselves to unsafety, even before the unsafety comes to them. Then there is the unsafety coming to you. And then how do you handle that situation? There's a director telling you, Mademoiselle, if you do not do this role is not for you. Then I ask myself, but this person, does he feel is the only one who has it there? So what do you do? If you're not going to cast me, I am going to apply and see, how do I do this thing to get myself into that position? Because me, I attended many auditions. They never cast me because of my face. I look like a child. The body was saying other things, but the face was saying, hello, please, you're a child. Then I also watch the environment. There are men who are protective of women because they look at us like they are sisters. Then there is a man who's going to look at you and he doesn't care. Should you lay yourself on the table, he shall partake with a fork and knife. Yeah? Because you need to understand that there is safety and there is no safety, because that's the world. There are many unsafe things. So how you maneuver the unsafety, your values. As a woman, who do you see yourself as? Are you that kind of woman who's going to use your body to get where you want? Or are you going to understand that you have a brain? Because we do have brains. Not necessarily to show off that you are intellectual or that you have intelligence, but how do you sit at the table and understand, I don't need to play the woman card all the time. Because men listen to logic, they're objective. We're not going to listen to your, oh my God, I was suggesting that maybe we do this. No. Use your voice. Because we are at a table. They may listen to my father over there. I may say the same point, and then he says it a minute later, but I said it earlier. So am I just going to back down? No, I'm going to say, excuse me guys, whatever he said, I said it. And I said it exactly the way he said it. How is it that you guys are not hearing me? So you have to, nobody's going to give you that table. So in that place, they're going to talk about you. So is it safe? And are you going to allow the words to damage you because the men are talking? Oyo Bagaya, yeah, she's very opinionated. And was like, Mugezi Nyo. Me, those words will not put me down. They're not going to make me lose esteem. Why? By the time I decided to come and do drama, I had passion. I knew what I wanted. I wanted to act. But then the acting became a bit difficult. Then I found a stage place. Then I saw men writing. I said, there's a section for writing for screen. And if this man, Philip Luswat, I can approach him, and can he teach me? The first question he asked me, are you serious? I said yes. Was he safe? Yes. Because he was guiding me. Perspective, father, daughter, student, woman who knows what she wants. Is theatre safe? We work late. We are women. Then someone tells you, it's okay, you can sleep at my place. My guam is in Intinda. I'll pay for you in Chira. So it's like 1 a.m. Are you going to make the decision and sleep at Charles's place because it's in Intinda? Planning. You must plan and know theatre is a space of late rehearsals, serious directors, they are hyenas. Realistically, men are hyenas. Not all, some. And also now in this era, I wouldn't want to say it, but even women are hyenas. And they are hiding. So the safety matters. Even you can also be unsafe to another person. So what are your values? What are your values? Very important. If somebody tells you, come and talk to me, in the room, close the door behind you. If you feel unsafe, please ask that that door remains open. Or have somebody else in the room. Because we are in a business of people manipulating others. Because we are creatives, we are always thinking. If somebody doesn't give me what I want, what do I do? What do I say? What is the angle? Then there are those who play innocent, like as if for them they are nothing. Oh, I'm just dumb. So, in the safety angle, if you feel unsafe, please get away from that space. It doesn't matter how much they are paying you. It doesn't matter who this person is. Even the people in the business with big names have flaws. They are not perfect. But as women I found women who are protecting others, I am doing my best to protect the younger women. But the thing is, the younger women don't listen. Why? They have a tendency to think you're old. The person who's speaking is old. Ukadie. You're off the table. You're jealous because I'm hotter, I'm younger. Yeah? So you're jealous because that guy that you work with is not looking at you, he's looking at me. But I know the men that you have found. You don't know them. So when I tell you, madam, please, when somebody says this, please, then they go and they report you to the men of this channel, told me against you. But I'm telling you because I know you're going to get heart broken because these people don't have hearts. Your body is going to be used, you will not get what you want. Yet, if you had applied your intellect, you'd be so far. So for me, I would always suggest play the long game. The long game is don't look at the fame, look at the service. Yeah, serve your time and eventually get there. Safety, protect yourself, learn to say no. Don't say no, don't say yes, and you're in between. No. Say no. If you feel this person is wrong, report to somebody who's a bit older so they can protect you. But don't lie. Because the women that we are, we lie a lot. Am I lying, lady? We lie, and we lie with reason. Everything has motive. You get into a space, you want that position, you're like, how do I get here? Not everybody plays smart, plays safe. Others are there to elbow, and you're going to meet them. So is everybody safe? No. Don't tell everybody your stories. Yeah? The things that are happening in your house. You fought with your boyfriend. You fought with your husband. Don't tell everybody, because we have Lugambo. And we utilize your stories. You come and bang me your cables. You think I'm not going to write about you? I will write about you, yes, I'll protect you, but your story is beautiful. So if you do not want me to use your story in my scripts, please, don't tell me. And safety is in protecting your fellow woman. If you gossip about somebody, how will they feel? But all these are things that we learn on the job. It's a process. And finding a tribe, finding women who are supportive, finding that cocoon that can take care of you. So for me, as a woman, I am in a space, so that's why I said I'm a friend also. Because when I meet young women, my interest is for them to understand that they are enough, that they are worth it, they can do it, they have to push themselves. Because we have a tendency, somebody asks you, introduce yourself, and you say, my name is Catherine Bagaya. Then they corner you, that girl, she writes good scripts, and you're like, now, small. No, I write good scripts. Because every single man I have met, and that's the thing I do, I observe men. So I apply. There are things in my world. A man is going to tell you, I'm a director, and he has never directed, but he's going to direct tomorrow. He'll get the job. But a woman will say, I'm an aspiring director. No. It is what you want. It is going to happen tomorrow. So please, own it. They were praising her. She said, I'm just a girl. No. You are exactly those things. So me, when I walk into a room, my head is high. I have learned when somebody says, Bagaya, do this. I'm like, yeah, it's true. Why? I'm not in this room for free. These ladies are not here because, no, they are here because of their experience. That's why they are here. Any person who entered this room and asked themselves, why am I here? And then you're looking around, you're like, Banange, see Brenda, she didn't go and play, I've never produced. You're feeling unsafe. Why? This is safety. Everybody who is here, you can go and have a conversation and ask them, how did you do what you did? Why? Because you're in a safe space. Be confident enough to walk to this beautiful madam, because I've seen her productions, and say, how did you get here? Even her, she wasn't confident, but she had people who told her, you can do it, wake up, do it. And she moved. So the safe spaces are created by us. Without us, there's no safety. Yeah. I hope I've answered.
So much, Catherine. I would like to pose the same question to you. Do you think theatre, looking at your journey and reflecting on it, do you think it's safe for you to continue walking and people coming behind you, can they still walk and feel, yes, we are going somewhere and it's safe for us to go there?
Just as Catherine said, you create your safety. First and foremost, just to know, why are you there? I keep on telling artists, the young girls or boys I meet, that you can't be somewhere
where you are not supposed to be. That is a decision you make. So it goes back to the passion. Me, I can't sit in a room of lawyers because I'm not a lawyer. I'll never be a lawyer, and I've told my children to study law because of my reasons. Yes. So it is what you make in the beginning. Am I supposed to be here? Even when you're seated in your home. Apparently, when we started, there were not so many drama groups. Right now, there are so many organizations. So, me, when I was in S1, already Uganda Drama Class was there. And we had a student, she was in S2 who was already there. So, I kept on asking her, how can I join her? So, my father used to bring us to watch plays at National Theatre. Every Sunday, that's a plot. So we used to come and watch plays. I would love what they do. So this passion, I built it, and I knew I'm not going anywhere else. I'm going in that drama group. So when I joined, as I told you, back in my mind, I had a statement I made with my parents. So what does that add? What do I add to that statement? Discipline. I made sure discipline was paramount. What do I mean by discipline? It doesn't mean that when you meet the elders, you kneel down and greet. It doesn't make sense to kneel down and greet when you are going to tell a director, that is not a discipline. That discipline is from the day you enter, the moment you enter that space. How do you conduct yourself? How do you differentiate between the artists and the directors? Because some young artists here, or just because someone is your friend, because right now we have the young directors. So we shall meet at National Theatre, we jazz, we have a drink, the next day she's your director. And inside you are like, so it's not that. This is a different space. So you have to have the discipline. Discipline includes communication. Things happen along the way. You can fall sick, you can have a challenge. Communicate before so that people get ready for you. When I was studying customer service, my lecturer told me that the best time to communicate is 2 hours to your dedicated time, because people have enough time to make your schedule otherwise, or to expect you what time to come. So please communicate earlier. That falls in discipline. The way you dress. Don't dress up inviting people. You know, I am to rehearsal why? Yeah? I know, yes, you are a girl, but in your mind, you have other people you're working with. As he was blaming the men, but these men are created like that. You would see someone, yes, you would like it. And when they like it, their brain, what is next in their brain? They'll say something. So, dress up appropriately. You don't lose anything. So, because when you're in a society, I remember my mother used to tell me that when you can do anything in your home, because this is your home. Nobody's going to talk about it. It's the walls which will see. But when you are out, the moment you step out of your home, people are going to see. And for us, we grew up in an environment where, as when you step out of the gate, the person you meet is responsible for your behavior. So, if you walk out in a miniskirt, yes, he'll look at you. 5 minutes, you'll go to your mother. So, dress matters. How you talk to people matters. Of course, we all go through things. But why do you have to come when you're so angry and you think everybody knows that you don't have money, that you can't eat? Most of the time when I ask the young artists I work with, someone comes, says, she doesn't read. They are good with, how do you call them? Not earphones. Earpods. They have the earpods in their ears. Good morning. Hello, Chichi. Nalongo, I'm hungry. Why don't you plan? Planning is very essential. Whatever kind of job you have, planning is very essential because you are creating a safe space for people. Because let me tell you one thing, when it comes, someone walks in the room when she's angry, the whole space will be infected. The air will go wrong. So, and that's the whole day. And what happens when they go back home? They will say, Katemba and Tami. Because they think that's the way forward. And then another thing is, listen. It doesn't matter if you have met someone who's older than you in age, who's older than you in the industry. Listen. Listening is good, but don't judge before you listen. Because everybody has something to say. So plan, communicate, self-respect, physical appearance, and I think the world will be a safe place for you. The theater will be a safe place for you. If you don't know something, ask politely. It is not like you stand up and, why do you do this and this and this? Why did you say this and this and this? There are some projects I work on and you find these young artists. Me, I always set my goals. I talk to the producer before and I outline everything that's supposed to be in that project. So you may, let's say the rehearsals start at 8. Me, I talked to the producer and told him, I can come at 10. So when I turn up at 10, because you think you know, you start asking, why does Nalongo come at 10? You ask politely. So some of us, those are the things that has made us what we are, because it's as they say, it is not something you know, it is something you learn. Like me, I can give an example. Before I gave birth, I was someone different. I could do anything, I could go anywhere, I could rehearse at night, I could do anything. When I gave birth, first of all, my husband is not my fan. So that was an issue. He was not my fan. So anything to do with art, just because you are an adult, you can go. So when my girls were still young, I left space and I went into dancing. So dancing was more flexible than the projects I had for dancing. I'll take my children, they will take care of them. So when I started acting again, they were around 4 years. But all the people who have worked with me know my children. If they don't know my children, I've never been late. Because I plan. And I never say what happens in my house. That's why most of the time Dr. Mlepa asks me, because I never talk about it. Doesn't say that we don't have misunderstanding. It doesn't say that I don't have bad days. But because this is another space and my home is another space. My home doesn't matter to you. I have to come, do what I'm supposed to do. Even sometimes there are coincidences when they act you for roles which are exactly the same situation, like what you're going through at home. And this is the character you're going, because everything just comes at a go. But learn to own your stories. Differentiate between your space, your home. Be professional. What I mean being professional, differentiate between, this is my friend, outside theater, we do this. With theater, we do this. That's it. Communication, discipline, physical appearance, theater art will be a safe space for you.
Thank you so much, Erin. I'd like to go to you, Muhirwe. Kathy and Alex for generations. But what do you think needs to be done for women to shift from being victims, theatre and otherwise, to being confident about everything that they do, theatre included? How can we shift from the victim mentality as women in theatre?
Thank you so much, Patience. I think these women have already answered that question, but maybe to add something on that is to, first of all, I think women need to understand the first thing that art is our culture, and the other thing is, one thing that I've known or learned is that women are the first people on the line of preserving culture. So if we are to really, I wouldn't say reclaim, but to claim space, to have our space, we have to first understand how we are supposed to behave as women. One of the things is to understand that we are not vulnerable. We are not a weaker sex or weak sex. To also understand that it takes time to get to a point where you have dreamt of. Because usually what we face women is that we know very well we have interesting physical features on our bodies that will get us to points where we want. And that happens very fast, but fades very fast. So if we understand that, we need to take a step at a time, one step at a time. Because we also understand that there's a common saying, I will not use the right words, but riches that come fast really go away very fast. So fame that comes very fast will also go away very fast. So it is a step at a time. So when we see the women in this industry that are still on this level, at a level where we want to be, there are women who will tell you that they didn't rush. They were patient. They respected their cultures, where they came from. They knew that a woman is supposed to dress like this. At least if you're dressed a certain way, you will not land into temptations, and you will not land into the temptees. You will not be the tempter. You will try to be safe. At least that is something that is at least guaranteed. And if we understand all that, then we can claim space, we can be great leaders, we can be... Now, the other issue is wanting to revenge or to revenge, because like Catherine mentioned, there are women who are hyenas. I don't know what female hyenas are, but I will use that, I'll borrow from Catherine. There are women who are hyenas. So now when we claim this, when you get into these spaces, we want now to turn into the vultures. We want to now start, eating. And it's really, really very dangerous. And I personally have been in a space where I thought there was protection because it's a female leader or female leaders there, but then I found myself being thrown. So the woman is doing this to you, yeah? Doing this, so throwing you into a beach of male hyenas. Yes. So that's something that we need to, in Uganda there's something popular on social media that abachala baike okweyagaliza, yeah? Yes. What empowers women is when muba mweyagaliza mwena, because trust me, it can be hard for a single woman to stand on their own. But if it's a group of women standing together, then trust me, it's very hard to put down these women. We have seen this. So if we stand together and see that we have created the safe space for us, our voices can be heard, then we are good to go. Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Muhirwe. Now, basing on what Muhirwe has spoke about, I would like to go to you, Ms. Kaya. The idea of togetherness, working together as women to become stronger, is ideal. But looking at what is on the ground, especially in the women theatre circles, why has it not been evident? Why would you think most people don't like walking that road to work together, looking out for
victim mentality? Okay, this is where I'll start. Okay, I think it comes from articulating your why. What is the vision? Because I think we're in a situation whereby I will not speak as an authority to this because I will not be able to justify that stand. But I will make an observation and I will share thoughts. That is it. Okay, one, I think it all starts from where am I going, where do I want to go, and how will I get there? So when you first articulate that, then that will be your answer. If I want us as women creative artists to stick together, why do I want that? So I will first have to find a benefit to me, first and foremost, a justifiable benefit, which then I can break down, articulate, and share, and sell. And also to be able to do that is to get knowledgeable about what we want to do. If you want to be a creative artist, what does it mean to be a creative artist? You have to be an actor, you've got to be a writer, you've got to be a director, you've got to be a stage manager, you've got to be able to do makeup, to do lights, to do set design, to do lights design, like to manage a project, and everything that goes with it. So first and foremost, that you identify where you're at. What is your strength? Some people are able to do it all, but not everybody will be able to do it all. So what are your strengths? First and foremost. And what are not your strengths? So if we are going to come together as women and we are going to make it work, we have to have a shared vision that all of us believe in. And when we get that down and all of us believe this is the direction we're going to take, then we look at what we have and we look at what we don't have and educate ourselves about what we do not have, starting with the pool of people that we have. Okay, so okay, I have this, you have that, you have that. Okay, first teach us the core group, and then you can share that with the other people you're going to work with. And we're also in an era where we have yes, we have experience, but then we have the internet, we have ChatGPT, we have AI, there's so much information out there. So if there's anything that you don't know, you can actually go there and get the information. And there are also institutions out there that teach.
At least they will teach you the basics of what you need to do. So that is one thing, you must be knowledgeable. Like, get the best information you can. And that will definitely be your anchor. I know there's this cliche, knowledge is power, but it is. Because once you know your stuff, and you stand up to speak, people will listen. People will listen. It doesn't matter if they're women, it doesn't matter if they're men. But if you have something to say, and you've got a trail to show, and you're consistent with what you're saying, then people will want to be part of your vision. And it would be very difficult for anyone to follow you if you don't know where you're going, or if you're always second guessing yourself, or you don't deliver as you promise, or you are busy saying one thing and you mean something else. When you say we are holding each other's hands and we are moving, but in the process, as she said, you're stabbing each other in the back, you're hitting each other, you're talking about each other. That is a recipe for disaster. So I think we need to be able to do that, and also study our space. Find out what is the source of the problems and the challenges that we are faced with. The reasons why we are not together. Be honest about it. Be honest about it. And then also, as I said, this is a world that is a male-dominated world. Okay, let me say it's dominated by both men and women, because it's about the attitude. And the attitude you have will determine your altitude. So, learn to think how people who have made it think. It doesn't matter whether they're male or female. So once you learn to think the way they think, and you practice it, it will not be comfortable, but it can be done. And it takes time. It takes time. You don't jump in there, you don't jump into the deep end and swim out. You have to start somewhere. Rome was not built in a day. It is something that you have to be intentional about. Like, build it brick by brick. Be consistent. Show up. Show up. And of course, when things are going well, everybody would like to be a part of where you're at. When things do not go that way, then, when people start talking, nobody will want to stand with you and be able to pull you out of that hole. Because I think that is where the challenge comes. If I am in the dumps, will my brother Dr. Mnekwa come through for me? He usually does, every choice. And that's what I'm saying. It's going to be a situation whereby if it's working, we will stand together. If it is not working, we are going to find solutions to make it work together. It's almost like taking an oath. The Baganda have a saying, like, you're not going to backstab me and I'm not going to backstab you. If things are going well, we will be together. If things are not going well, I will still stand by you. But we've got to be honest. We've got to be honest. So I think that would be my take on that. I hope I'm communicating.
Thank you so much, Ms. I would like to go to you, our gender, the borders of the society, and the standards that have been put before us. How can we carry our stories to be bigger than all those borders presented in our lives?
Thank you. Yeah, we have many stories. One thing is, first of all, let us know that we have the power to do that. Yeah, we lack a bit of that in us because of whatever around us that has brought us down, beliefs, traditions, and etc. So, as women, we should know we have the power to do it because we have those stories, we have experiences. Then we bring them out. Like we say, first of all, I know it is easier when we have, like we say, the power of togetherness, because there, for instance, in this test, she says she's writing. So we have stories that we can write even together. We can start there. There's no problem. Because when we start there, this strength will help the individuals do it even by themselves. Yeah, so those experiences, those stories, those challenges, we should not put them to waste. We should put them out knowing we can do it. Then she's good because she's being mentored. She decided, because I'm writing, I have to get someone to mentor me. Some of the things we know how to do. Some of us know how to do things by experience, because it is many years in it. I'm telling you the truth, you can't have the confidence that you know how to do it. At least for me. There are things that I'm told I've done well, but because I've not studied or been mentored, or I don't have that confidence that I really know how to do them. But when you are mentored, when you get this person to mentor you, sometimes it's only a workshop. They say something and I've been doing it just by experience. I'll get the confidence. For instance, we are here, women in theatre. We are very few here. If we were many, we would all benefit. So we don't involve ourselves in things. I don't know why. We're a big number. If we involved ourselves, because first of all, you know the story, now you have to get the confidence that that story works. Yes. And also being knowledgeable. Women, let me tell you, on the Women's Day, I went to church, and then the ushers were ushering us in, not even saying Happy Women's Day. So I'm like, Happy Women's Day, they are ladies. Hey, no. Yeah. And to make matters worse, I went for the first service, so we are going for the second service. The coordinator didn't even say Happy Women's Day. He didn't even, they didn't even organize for that. So I called him and told him, you don't know, see, I knew, and I had prepared to say it, but I didn't. And I told him that even the leader of the choir didn't even start with that. And she's a woman. There were many women who didn't know it's a Women's Day. Because there's nothing happening in their community, nothing. They went to church yesterday for a Bible study, they came back. So it is business as usual. So I told them, we have to push it. Because I sat them, the ushers, and told them that if we don't, recognize our own, it will help us. So we need to have knowledge. These workshops like this will help us. There are some challenges that we've talked about and people don't even know about them. It can even give you a story. So if we helped ourselves, go into knowing things, like she said, even on this. And there are some of us are much older. But when you ask me something concerning the youth, I would say something. Because I ask the youth that I see it. I know my place, I know what I can do in theatre, I know what I cannot do because I'm not that age. But I can't even teach them what to do. Because I know what is happening concerning the youth or the world. So if we had all that, that is the beginning of the many stories we have. We have them, each of us will say they have a story. But not being together, not even asking. And something else that I've learned, I think we have a problem knowing what is power and what is authority. Every one of us has the power to create. We know what to do, but there's someone in authority. There's someone ahead. Yeah? So if we know that this person is in authority, this one is here, and we have a female performing artist in Uganda. She is the chairman. And usually, if you have this power, because she has a position, power is more of a position. She has a position. For instance, I'm not the chairman. She is. Now I know she's the one who can get me into something. Because if they call sometimes from the Ministry of Gender, so they write a letter to her, we need women to do this and this, she's the one able to do that. But she can lead. I'm giving an example. You can have authority when you're not a leader. Bring out what you have. Your house girl can have authority in your home. She's not the leader, but she knows everything concerning your child. She knows the teacher's child, she takes the child to school. So if something happens, it is clear that when the doctor asks the mother will say, "Come to the house girl," because she has the authority. She may not know, but we can have that. The men can have the power. They are the directors, they are the one. I know it because I know, in fact, the reason I managed to grow in theatre, to be even in position to be here, because I didn't have a position in my group. That means I didn't have power. But I gave out what I had. I could comment. So there came a time when, no, I know how can we cast? They will ask me. I'm not one of them, but they will ask me because I brought out, bring ideas. No, this one cannot be this cannot be this. So if we know that we can have authority even without power and bring out what we have, we will go a long way.
Thank you so much.